What's up? What's up? What's up,
What's
chat? What's
happening?
going on, fam? Out there, community gumbo, JBM. What's going on, sir?
Chilling, man. Just got back into town.
Word. That's
Yeah,
what's happening. What's
got
happening?
everything settled. Just got a new chair here. If you can see it, but used to be
Got a new
brown.
chair.
New chair, yeah.
Check him
Got
out.
this-
Check him
got
out.
This table riser, so I can make it adjustable if I want to stand or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. The we've entered the next gen console phase.
Yes.
New consoles have finally arrived. How you feeling
Not
about
for everybody?
Yeah,
Man,
not for everybody. I'm assuming you were one of the ones trying to get the PlayStation 4. Is that correct? Or 5, excuse me.
The PS5. I was one of the ones that was trying to. So overnight, I told myself, no, I'm not getting it. And then I woke up and I was like, damn, I gotta get it. So Walmart was doing the time releases from 12 to 3 to 6 to 9.
Right.
And I tried to get one at every single one of those hours, and it to no avail. Site would crash within a minute, and after it came back up, it would say out of stock. So,
Dang.
yeah, I was clowning all day.
Man, I got some backstory into this too. What was that, Wednesday?
That was
Thursday?
when I called you.
Yeah. What day was that?
I think that was Thursday.
It was Thursday. So I get a call Thursday, like midday, from this man right here. And I'm like, first of all, he never calls me like during the workday, like during work hours, like never get a call. So I'm like, oh, this must be like something important, like something's happened. So I answered the phone.
Off that day too, by the way.
I answered the phone, and he's talking real low. He's like, yo, I got a problem. I was like, oh, what happened? He's like, I need talking to, man. This time I'm like, all right, so is this like family? Is something happening to Donovan? Is something between like him and his girl? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm getting real concerned. I'm like, all right, so what happened? And he's like, trying to get this PS5, man. And I was like, I took a long pause, like, is this man serious right now? We talking about a PlayStation 5? Like, come on, bro. And then like I had to laugh because I was like, I'm thinking I'm I've elevated the threat level. I'm like, dang, something bad has clearly happened. But this man is over here trying to pre-order or buy this PS5 online. Yeah. Got this elaborate plan to buy online at Best Buy. Go pick it up. And then we're gonna do an unboxing.
Yeah. Unboxing for the Gumbo channel. That didn't work out, huh?
Didn't work out at all. Then sometime near the end of the day, I get a call from like, man, they ain't have no they ran out of PS5s. Like, I was like, dang, I guess it wasn't meant to be there, but that jump was hilarious.
Yeah, I purposely set that up to sound like it was gonna be something big.
You did a great job. That was if we talking about that trending topic about performances that didn't win Academy Awards but should have been nominated. That was definitely you on Thursday.
I'm low key light skinned Mahershala Ali.
Oh,
y'all
Lord.
just don't know.
Anyways, joining us.
Give me a script.
We got Lou joining.
Lou,
what's going on?
What up,
man? I don't know how y'all be doing this from the East Coast because like day is almost over.
Hey man, it's been dark for like 5 hours, so like as far as I'm concerned, it's midnight. It's midnight. Heem, what's going on?
What up?
Hey, Lou, I think your computer audio is picking up, not the mic.
Oh, hold up, let me figure that out. I'm gonna be muted while I figure it.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So speaking of Mahershala,
Speaking of
there's
Mahershala,
news he's gonna be playing Jack Johnson, right?
yeah, man, that broke. Wait, when did that break? Yesterday, Thursday?
Someday this week.
Yeah, late this week.
Someday
It,
this
it
week.
broke this week that Mahershala Ali is signed a contract with HBO to do a
Mhm.
limited. Was it a limited series?
It might be. Let's see what we got here.
I had thought I had the article pulled. But yeah, while he pulls that,
Yeah,
so
limited series. Limited
the mini
series.
series on the boxer Jack Johnson, legendary boxer Jack Johnson.
Yeah, it's based on the Ken Burns documentary. Shout out to Ken Burns. He does so many great documentaries.
He does.
Yeah. It was the documentary he did was called Unforgivable Blackness: The Rise and Fall of, and my webpage wants to load. That's crazy.
Rise and Fall of Jack Johnson. I got it up.
Yeah.
They originally developed this script, this adaptation in 2013. Now, interestingly enough, Mahershala played Jack Johnson once before, like 20 years ago when he was in his 20s. I didn't realize Mahershala was in like his 40s, 50s.
Oh yeah, he up there.
So yeah, but he's played Jack Johnson before.
Has it?
Yeah, he has. That's the thumbnail is actually from when he played him in a previous series. I believe it's called The Great White Hope. Yeah, The Great White Hope. So yeah, perfect casting. He's got the frame and the build for it. Let me share my screen so you can see Jack Johnson. If you don't know who Jack Johnson is, don't have a reference. Here he is. It's Jack. Wait, there he is. That's Jack Johnson, Mahershala Ali. So, I think this is good casting. A great actor too. So, I'm definitely looking forward to this series.
Yeah. I wonder how much of it's gonna be outside of the ring. Probably majority of it, I'd expect.
Yeah. So,
At least 70%.
Are you familiar with this documentary at all by Ken Burns?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
But now that I see this news, I want to watch it.
Yeah, I'd be curious too, because it's one, it's Ken Burns. Mm-hmm. Two, Jack Johnson is a legend, in fact. So definitely looking forward to seeing. I now want to see The Great White Hope because I never saw that with Mahershala Ali playing Jack Johnson for the first time. So I want to go back and watch that too. So, but yeah, let us know. Let us know in the chat how y'all feel about that series.
And if y'all don't know, he was the first African American heavyweight champ in boxing, Jack Johnson.
Yep.
Big time boxer.
Yep. Just trying to get Lou's thoughts on it. He'll be back. Getting that mic situation worked out. Oh, there he is. Popped in. Yo. Oh, can you hear us?
How we looking?
Hold up.
Why you sound like John Henry from the Netflix show?
John Henry.
Oh man.
Yeah, how's everybody doing this weekend? We see we got some people watching, some viewers.
These glasses. All right, take these glasses off. That's killing me.
Oh yeah, you know what? But real quick, while we wait on that, we have set up a coffee page, which is where I'm gonna put the link in now to the chat. If you like what we're doing here, and you want to support in other ways, and definitely make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. But if you've been watching for a while, and you feel like you want to find other ways to help support the channel, if you go to the coffee page, you will be able to financially support us by buying a coffee. $3 for one cup of coffee. If you feel so inclined, we're not asking for you to do that, but if you wish to help us support us in other ways, we definitely would appreciate any type of support we can get, especially through the coffee account. So link is in the description. You can go check it out. And yeah, but always we appreciate everybody who comes and watches these episodes every week.
Facts, we do much appreciate that.
Yeah, we've been at this since July.
Maybe
Shoot, Kanar, what's going on, man?
No, what's up?
Yeah, it's been late. Was it late June when we did the first episode? So we've been going strong for a few months now.
Probably was July, late June. I was at the beach when we did it, so
that's
definitely over the summer.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, and then we got the link to the Discord. We got our social media accounts. We're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram, Facebook, all at Certified Gumbo. So make sure if you aren't already, go follow us there. But definitely join the Discord, because we definitely have conversations like this all the time throughout the week. Where else? Okay, so while we wait for Lou, there was some other news, some Marvel news. Chris Pratt is joining the cast of Thor: Love and Thunder.
That was expected, though. I feel like, right?
It was expected. It was. I mean, we last saw him on the ship. Yeah,
on the ship with him, right? Yeah.
He was with Thor the last time we saw him, so that makes sense. I guess we'll get confirmation that other members of the Guardians will be appearing in that as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see all of them. I just kind of expected the movie to be him and the Guardians of the Galaxy doing whatever they're doing. Yeah,
I would like to see that too, like that, them going on this adventure. This is going to be an interesting movie, in my opinion, because there's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of components within Love and Thunder. Like you got the Natalie Portman piece with her coming back in, and she's female Thor. You got that element. You got Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm assuming that the rest of them will also be in the movie as well. Like, how will these adventures merge? Are we going to do a time jump? Like how does all this kind of sort of come into play?
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm curious to know a little bit more about the film before I get to lean one way or the other on it.
Same.
But we also too, in the same breath, got the confirmation that WandaVision ties directly into the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness film.
Really?
So yeah, Disney and Marvel making the Disney Plus and the live action films, they're creating these connections between these. So like, unlike the Netflix properties, this will actually tie directly into the MCU films. So it'll be, that's an interesting thing to me, because now how many other of these shows, because you got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's also in development. I think they just wrapped filming for
I think that's going to be good. Soldier. I'm most excited about that, and Black Widow.
The Black Widow film is still coming out. I believe Black Widow sets up everything else. So that's kind of why they're holding everything else back, because they want Black Widow to come out first, because it ties in with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think it loosely ties in with WandaVision, but more so while Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think there are more direct connections between Black Widow and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Gotcha.
And
so first episode of WandaVision is going to be all black and white. Is that right? I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah. So she's basically the events of Infinity War and Endgame with the death of Vision. She's kind of sort of in a not kind of sort of she's in a really bad place mentally. Trying to cope with the death of Vision because Vision died before the snap, so he couldn't come back after they reversed the snap. So she's dealing with that, and because of her like mental powers, like she's created this alternate reality in her mind, and I think the plot is that it bleeds over into the real world. Like, so her imagination is basically affecting the real world, the things that she's fantasizing about. Like, so these all of these sitcoms and these classic uh, TV shows from the past, she's living in these fantastical realities with Vision, and she's trying to create like this alternate reality where they live happily ever after through these TV shows. And that's kind of sort of the plot. And then that's where Doctor Strange comes into play, because there's some it's not her by herself. I think she's being manipulated by another dark force from the cosmic dimension, which is where
What's
that's
that movie?
that's the connection with. Yeah.
Is that? I don't think that might be the name.
No, not the elementals. No, what is it?
The Celestials.
No,
Something like that.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it the Celestials?
Might be. Now
No,
with
it's not
that
the
Thanos.
Eternals. It's the Eternals. It's the Eternals.
Yeah, the Eternals. With the Thanos snap, everyone that got snapped and came back were gone for 5 years.
That's correct. Yeah.
So they're like 5 years younger than people that stayed.
Yep.
All right. So in Spider-Man Far From Home, he was 5 years younger, supposed to be.
Peter, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Weren't they going on a field trip? So what class is that?
That's a great question. I don't know. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah, because they looked like nothing. Like there was no age difference, no sense of puberty that came and went.
I don't think they address that at all. Like, I mean, honestly, like, because not everybody would have been snapped away. So certain parts of the school in his class would have already graduated, or they should have already graduated. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's
it should have been college, or
they should have been
college,
first year of college.
So he was a freshman in the first one.
Yeah, I think he has to be either a freshman or sophomore in that first year. Yeah. In that first movie. But either way, I mean, the 5-year gap, they should have been graduated.
Yeah, graduated high school in college.
Yeah.
If they chose to do that. You can go to trade school. You don't have to go straight to college at high school.
That's a fact.
Lou, what up?
What's going on?
Still, we live?
You got it worked out? Sounds good.
Yeah, I am coming from Jersey now, and so do audio setup, figuring that out.
Gotcha. Wait, you're in Jersey?
I am in Jersey for the duration of this calendar year.
Oh wow. Okay, what's going on?
Working from home.
Holidays coming up from Jersey. Families out here, so came before the holiday rush.
Before the rush, that makes sense. See, yes, sir. Yeah. See, this is Lou moves right all the time. You know, you ever recognize that? This man orders his steps so correctly, yo. It's incredible.
Puts a lot of thought in his decision-making process.
The number of conversations we had off air about just his life, man. This dude has his steps ordered, man. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, you just gotta see
moving, man. Just man, straight up Heisman Trophy. You know what I'm saying? He's running back, never been touched. Man, but what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Doing all right. Living life, trying to plan this coast to coast transition, right? So that's been a little bit of stuff. Reading Watching TV, same old, same old.
Word. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So we touched earlier on the Mahershala Ali being cast as Jack Johnson in an upcoming HBO series. We want to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh, that is like serendipitous timing because about 2 weeks ago, I watched the Jack Johnson documentary on PBS and I was like, yo, Jack
Was
Johnson
that the
is
Ken
man.
Burns documentary?
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, so it's on PB. All right, yeah. Well, no,
Yeah,
you
it's on
said that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like 2 2-hour parts. That man was living his best life in a time where nobody in America wanted him to live his best life.
Mm.
And Mahershala Ali has the swagger to pull it off because like Jack Johnson swagger was Ali level swagger without the quick comebacks, but with all the boxing punishing skills.
Yeah,
That man was a fugitive from the law for years, went to Europe for marrying a white woman, and then came back after he spent the amount of time in Europe. Like, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get me because I want to come home, but just know I was out here in the streets beating every white person you threw at me.
yeah. Imani, yo,
Yeah.
Imani, what's up? What's up?
What's happening? Yeah, didn't he open like a nightclub restaurant?
Yeah, he opened up a nightclub where everybody was welcome, and he had a giant picture of him on the wall.
Yo,
Dude was swagged out. He also rotated through several wives.
Oh man,
Several women. And so he was hanging out in like racketeering and nightclub joints because, when everything illegal anyway, race mattered a little bit less. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to open my own because I got this big money.
word. Yeah.
That must have been where the inspiration came for that one guy who played the boxer in Harlem Nights. He was always around in the nightclub.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Nope. I'm thinking, yeah.
Does the timing, does that line up?
Roughly. It's a couple years before Harlem Nights would have took place, like roughly a decade after, but
Okay, yeah.
close enough.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I got to check out that documentary though. That's Ken Burns does his thing.
Yeah, and do we get PBS through HBO Max, or do you have to? Is that an extra thing that you have to pay
so
for?
it's like a mix. It's a mixed bag. PBS puts some content up for free. I donate to my local NPR station. So for like roughly, if your maximum donation, I think I do like $8 a month. If you have more than $40 a year, you get PBS All Access. So I just get all this stuff.
Yeah. I remember you telling me that, and I went ahead and did that. Set it up through Amazon Prime. So yeah, got the full access, baby.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then the other time he played in The Great White Hope, it's a phrase we all know. It's a fight when you see the Jack Johnson story behind it. That's rather spectacular because he fought Buddy after his prime because the dude had an undefeated record, except he didn't want to box the black guy and put himself in an equal ring and playing field. And he was like, you know what? I'll fight you if the pot's like $80,000 in 1910s money. Right. Some rich dude put up that money.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot back then. That's like,
that is wild.
What, probably in the millions?
So he pulled a Canelo when Canelo did the Triple G. If y'all familiar with those middleweight fighters.
Yeah, I don't follow boxing like that, but I am familiar with Canelo. I think I watched one of his fights though, but I don't follow boxing.
I watched but yeah, boxing. Yeah, I be in and out of boxing. Heavyweight is the most interesting it's been in years. Mm-hmm. And I think I really only be following boxing when heavyweight is lit.
Yeah, I would say if MMA, probably I follow more. I will definitely follow MMA more closely than I do boxing these days. It's just you just got that it's still kind of new and it's definitely exciting. He got a verse like just different style fighters and combatants, and it's kind of
Yo, Jack Johnson's day, boxing was an ill sport. They had
yeah
30-round bouts.
yeah
3 minutes, 30 rounds, 90 minutes. Like they really just wanted somebody to be knocked out.
Yep.
yeah. It was vicious.
Mm.
It was vicious. It was vicious.
It was called unregulated. That
Absolutely.
was.
And then the mob probably controlled it more than likely at that point in time.
Yeah, it was similar to now where it's like people who had the money to get a venue and the money to put up a pot, set stuff up.
Oh wow, yeah. So it's $1 million. So yeah, so Imani did the conversion for us. That's $80,000 in 1920 would have been $1 million.
Yeah, so he was just absurd. He was just being absurd with it. Like, oh yeah, I'll fight you if you put up $1 million.
Boy, they was mad.
Yeah. $1 million wasn't
They
too
were mad.
common.
Oh, they was big mad because like the
They
fight
was
happened
big
in Vegas.
mad.
They built a
Yeah.
stadium for this fight in Vegas. Like white people came from all over to see this man lose.
Yeah, they was fuming after that, John. They had to be. That's
They
that
had to
time
surround
period.
the man so that he didn't get mobbed.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. That was, I mean, it's the likelihood of him getting out of that fight alive was very slim.
And
But
they
he did.
filmed it.
Yeah. So they got footage of it. That's
Because what they would do back then is like they would film the live boxing fight and then show it in movie theaters because blockbusters wasn't coming out left and right.
true. So like if you didn't hear it on the radio, or so people probably tuned in on the radio and then like watched it in theaters, but it was probably, I wonder how good it did in theaters after the
I don't know. Black
fight.
people was probably going to see it.
That's
like
what I
Black
was gonna
Panther.
say. I know black people were probably gonna go see it, like, but because it was live on the radio, the fight, so everybody knew the outcome of the fight by the time it hit the big screen. So I'd imagine that most of the white people would have been like, "Yeah, we're not paying to see that." So, yeah, man, good stuff. How do you feel about the news of Chris Pratt coming in to play, to reprise his role in Thor: Love and Thunder?
I haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, full confession. So
All right.
I'm out here in the streets like, it could work. Eventually I'll get around to Ragnarok before Love and Thunder. It'll come. It's out there. I have access.
Do you like have you seen Guardians?
Yeah.
1 and 2?
Yep. I enjoy Guardians. So like my Guardians, especially the first one, had to be good for me because I remember disliking it specifically because the first time they had pegged Black Panther for the future of the MCU Phase 3 lineup, it was on the calendar and then like they sweeped it away for Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy, if you read comics, they rarely have a run that's longer than 12 issues. It's a comic that is super niche and not niche enough to last. And I was like, oh, this is whack. How are they going to replace Black Panther with a comic book that nobody cares about? Then I watched that movie and, Chris Pratt did his thing.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, I had no expectations for Guardians of the Galaxy going into it. I didn't know anything about Guardians.
So I could say, see, this is why y'all should have did Black Panther. But, they did Black Panther eventually. It was fire. And it just I needed to wait for the universe to work its magic.
Right. No, yeah, I saying I didn't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that it bumped Black Panther off of the release, but I remember because it came out. I think it had to come out in May because I know it was close to my birthday.
That sounds about right. That's the beginning of the superhero season.
Yeah, summer. I come to expect my superhero movies, and Marvel's been doing such a good job. The MCU. I was like, all right, Guardians. I don't know who they are. I'm gonna go check it out. I like the trailers, and then I thoroughly enjoyed the film. Yeah, I definitely like the first one better than I like the sequel. But
I'm a little 50-50 on it. I like both equally. I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't.
say that. I like them both equal.
I'm trying to remember. I don't have any like memorable moments from the sequel. Not that I don't like it, but I can't. There's no scene that I can quickly recall from the sequel
Everybody
that
loves the
stands out to
scene
me.
with Baby Groot running through the
The
gunfire and all
intro,
of that.
the intro scene, that fight. Yeah,
Yeah. Um.
Didn't he shrink?
Yeah.
No, he shrunk at the end, right? When he had to hit the button, and
No, he was teenage by the end. He
yeah,
shrunk at the end of the first one.
yeah. He shrunk at the end of the first
At
one
the end of the first one, he's in a pot dancing.
because he sacrificed himself.
what scene was that when he had to run through some tunnels to hit a button to stop something from blowing up?
That was the second one.
That was the intro to the second.
Somewhere close to it.
I feel like that was close to the end.
I think it was. I think it
No,
was
because by the
early.
end he's teenage Groot.
Yeah,
So
because
he's
it
grown.
was early. It was early. It might have been in that opening fight sequence, but I just remember the opening fight sequence was Baby Groot. He had his headphones on, and he was dancing to music while they were fighting. Like it was a big fight montage, and like the camera was just on him, and they were fighting that big like slug looking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Ma? Yeah, Coop Daddy Yoda.
Coop Daddy.
Yo, I love that name. That is it.
Black Panther came out in February, actually.
Yeah, Black History
Black
Month.
Panther was
Black
definitely
History
February.
Month.
It was Black
Yeah.
History Month. That was before Movie Pass died, and so I was just going with Movie Pass swipe.
Yeah, that was. Well, you know what? I never had Movie Pass, but the concept of it, I liked for sure.
It was
Yeah.
great while it lasted.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about Chadwick Boseman coming back in 2 as CGI rendering? That's the rumor.
It got to be quick in and out. They can't sustain.
I can't. I was about to say, one, I can't listen to rumors this early on because they hadn't even started filming. Like, it's not
that's true, too.
These are just ideas that people are throwing out.
Yeah, there's only one scene I would appreciate it in when he goes into the astral plane of his forefathers, and his sister Shuri becomes a Black Panther, and she goes to the plane and sees him. I could get with that.
I could rock with him coming back in that astral plane, absolutely. But I would. Here's what I would like to see. Since we doing this, we can all have our. Y'all want to do that? Just kind of have our like ideal situation for the transition of Black Panther. That was the blackest month.
Yeah. We need. Hey, put that on the shirt.
Put that on the shirt. Yeah, no context at all. Just
Yeah.
that was the blackest month of my life. All right. So here's what I would like to see happen in Black Panther.
Yeah.
Since they've introduced this concept of the multiverse, right? I would like to see an alternate reality where Killmonger never like the whole Oakland situation doesn't happen. Like there's an alternate scene and he's actually the Black Panther and he's king of Wakanda in an alternate reality. And T'Challa is his right hand, and they go over and they tell him what happened to like I forgot. How did I set up the Black Panther death situation? Wait, our Black Panther dies in our universe. Yeah. But so they tell them what happened, and he basically makes T'Challa in the alternate universe the king and Black Panther, and Killmonger comes over to our universe and takes up the mantle of Black Panther. I would like to see that if they want to bring back Killmonger. I would also like to see Shuri take up the mantle of Black Panther. But there were rumors, people were talking about wanting Killmonger to come back to play Black Panther. I think that would be the only way for me to be okay with that. Not just like bring him back to life, but go get the alternate reality version of Killmonger.
I'd be okay with either one. If Killmonger comes back some kind of way, or if Shuri comes up, she got to get some muscle on her though. She got to.
I think she can. She's pretty. She's honestly she's pretty fit. The
Do she
actress,
need
like
to
I
be
think
more physically active? She a genius. Maybe she fight with her check.
that's what I'm saying.
You got to be agile.
Unless she becomes, she takes on like Shuri become the queen, and then what's my girl, who's the head of the
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje
Okoye.
become Okuye become Black Panther. I could see that. Because I mean, if Shuri is queen, like I mean, with her intellect and her, I mean, I think she would be a great queen. And then Okuye being Black Panther just makes a lot of sense to me.
I think I have no clue what they're gonna do or what I want, but I think it's super interesting that the last movie started with the morning of a death, and whatever they decide to do, the next one will likely have to start with the morning of the king's death. And how does the nation of Wakanda feel losing 2 kings in rapid succession?
Facts. Yeah, there's a gosh, yeah.
But they're
That'd be
probably
interesting to see how they handle that.
they're probably glad that Killmonger was gone. I don't think they'll have any too much remorse for that.
Monty says they shut down the rumor of, I guess, him coming back as a CGI character.
Okay.
Which is good. I'd rather not he come back. I definitely don't want to see him come back as CGI. I'll say that. I'm taking that completely off the table, and I'm glad that they shut that down. Yes. Nah.
Yeah, I wonder if the family or something was like, nah, let him be. Let him rest in peace.
Yeah. You know what? The only I think the only one where that's worked for me is Tarkin in Rogue One, when how they rendered him in CGI, because one, I mean, that actor died years ago, natural causes, and it was Tarkin's importance in that particular time period is vital, so he had to be there in some form, and I think the way they executed it was great. And they also had a stand-in, and they just digitally rendered Tarkin's likeness over top of the actor. But I think that situation is a little different than this one.
Yeah.
You ain't like it in the end of the Fast and Furious where they had Paul Walker driving off into the sunset?
Nah, man.
Yo,
that was not.
that was.
No, here's the thing. I appreciate the send off, but the execution wasn't.
It was weird. Yeah,
it was just weird, dog. It was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was just uncomfortable.
The tech wasn't there.
No, it wasn't that. It was like that Tarkin character was different. Like that. I mean that Tarkin character that crossed into like Uncanny Valley. Because it took some people some time to realize that wasn't well. I don't know how quickly a lot of people picked up on that was a CGI character in the film.
Instantly, it was.
Yeah, I mean, as fans, we know who that is. Like, I'm curious about like the average moviegoer seeing Tarkin in Rogue One. Would they have thought? Did they think that was like the original actor, or did they know that was CGI?
Oh, you talking about Tarkin? Okay, I thought you was talking about Fast and the Furious.
No, Fast and Furious. That's such a niche. Like their audience. Like if you watch a Fast and Furious film, it's because you're a fan of the franchise. Like I don't know how much average moviegoer participation they get at the box office.
They do numbers though at the box office.
They sure do.
They're like #1 when they hit.
Yeah, they got some movies in the top 20 grossing of all time.
They do find a sweet spot though, because usually when those movies drop, is they find a dead space in that summer release period to drop those movies. So they are really strategic with how they time it, and I think with the I feel like The Rock helped too
Oh, definitely.
with these later movies.
Rock elevated that franchise.
I
Yeah.
like that they
People's champ.
embrace the fact that it didn't make sense anymore.
Oh yeah, and they just ran with it. That was I agree.
After they drugged that 20-ton safe with two muscle cars, they were like, you know what, F it. Physics isn't real anymore.
Right.
Right.
We're gonna have somebody hack a bunch of cars in the middle of the street because we're gonna drive on ice, because we're gonna go to space, because it don't gotta make sense.
Nah,
We're gonna have The Rock shoot down a helicopter with a drone gun.
Yeah, Furious 7 is the number 9 grossing film of all time.
When we're gonna jump a hypercar across 2 skyscrapers.
Yeah,
with like no runway.
By hand.
Yeah,
right.
The Rock
they had like
missile.
They had like 30 yards of runway max. 30 yards is being generous.
Yeah, very generous. We're talking about from a penthouse suite, off
of
out
one
the
of the
window,
tallest buildings in the world,
with the right trajectory into the window of the adjacent building. Like,
wasn't the engine supposed to be made of gold or something?
Yeah. I think the whole car was made of gold.
The whole car was gold.
It's just a lot of things. Just
did y'all see the last one though? They had like a chain of cars connected to the helicopter to slow it down, and there was a link that broke away, and so The Rock became the link.
Oh yeah,
The Rock. I was like, yo,
he already in that same franchise took down a helicopter with a Gatling gun. Outside a parking deck that was collapsing.
Oh, yo, I think it's going to his head a little bit, because did y'all see that post he had earlier this, like in the summer when the hurricane hit and like his gate didn't work, and so he ripped the gate out with his like bare hands. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, all right, whatever workout regimen he got going on in the morning, he might want to tone that down a little bit, because that was insane.
Yeah, he's in there every day, every morning.
You ever seen like the Rock's cheat days on IG where he just be eating like 50,000 cookies for a whole cake by himself? He's been like, I've been working out 6 days a week. On the 7th day, I'ma just ball out on this junk food.
Oh, did anybody see Hobbs and Shaw? Because I didn't watch Hobbs and Shaw. Monty just said something about Hobbs and Shaw. I didn't see that.
I watched it. It was
Idris Elba on the motorcycle.
It wasn't as good as the Fast and Furious movies, I think. But
yeah,
it was what it was: action and entertainment. Yeah,
I also appreciate that they don't keep the plot too complicated either.
I feel like that when The Rock was holding.
Was that real beef?
What Tyree
in the movie?
That was some real beef. In real life.
Isn't he and Vin Diesel also? Don't they have a beef? Weren't they beefing? Isn't that why Hobbs and Shaw happened?
Well, you know, The Rock came into the Fast fam kind of late, came in as the enemy. So, you know, Tyrese was already the homie. Vin Diesel, who knows what happened, but if there was sides taken, he was probably like, Fast family, that's already my homie. Y'all can do something else.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, man. You go back and watch the first one, and you'd be like, yo, this was actually a car movie.
Yeah, for real. It was first one. It was a real like legit like street racer type movie, and then all of a sudden it turned into like Mission Impossible with cars.
Then Diesel's character was like, I like to live life 400 yards at a time.
Yeah.
400 yards at a time. How simple life was back then.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrese, he was going through some things too back then.
What more do you want from me? I just want my baby.
Hey, which one was it where they ripped off the James Bond scene with the ice? The winter, because remember Winter Solstice? Wasn't it Winter Solstice? Winter Solstice?
Quantum
when they were
No,
on the
wasn't.
ice, driving on the ice,
It
and he
was
redirected that missile. He
yeah,
grabbed the missile.
That was the sixth one, I think.
yeah. I'm like,
That was Fast Six.
Is that what that was? Fast Six. Yeah, that was. I was like, yo, The Rock. They got The Rock out here as a superhero.
for real.
Mm,
Yes, you training for Black Adam.
right?
Did we talk about that? Him being cast as Black Adam?
Nah, we didn't.
That been officially
I have
being
no
confirmed?
idea what that movie's gonna be. I'm gonna call
It's,
it.
I mean, it's DC. It's not like I have high hopes for it, like in the first place.
But here's the thing about most of the Rock movies. I find Rock movies more fun if I just don't even consider what it actually is and just call it The Rock. And like Hercules was a bad movie, but The Rock in Ancient Greece, hilarious. You know, whatever one that was when he was the Tooth Fairy, dumb as an objective movie. A Day in the Rock of a Tooth Fairy, it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up a Rock fan, like
A
big
one-legged
Rock
person jumping from building to building in a falling skyscraper.
Yeah,
Duh.
that one was overboard for me. I was just like, I remember seeing the trailer in the theaters for that. I'm like, man,
But disaster movie, The Rock edition, funny.
San Andreas wasn't too bad. San Andreas, y'all.
They didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was.
I
natural
didn't either.
disaster. The Rock in a natural disaster situation.
Listen, I'm 110% behind the Rock chasing his bag. I'm good with it. I'm not supporting everything though. I just I just can't. It's like, yeah, no.
Gridiron Gang, that was had Exhibit in it. Yeah,
I mean, that's different though.
had old Amari Hardwick.
You know what you're getting with that one. That's still not like
The Rock in the
I mean, that's not like a
video game.
one-legged man jumping through skyscrapers and
Jumanji.
stuff.
Yeah, Jumanji was hilarious.
Yeah,
different.
Jumanji was pretty funny.
Him and Kevin Hart. That's man, Jack Black. That's like a
Oh yeah, the one with the ice. Okay. All right. So next
up?
topic.
Ooh, is this the Star Wars sequels?
Yeah, we talking about these leaked Lucas sequels. The treatment for the George Lucas sequels.
Is it better that we know, or is it worse that we know?
All right.
I just decided not to tune out for that reason. I was like, you know what? I know what we got. I guess it's nice to dream if you want to dream.
That's a fact. You know what? Because you're right about that, because it's not like we can get them now. Not that whatever they were supposed to be. However, I do have my issues with how they were positioned initially, because when it was announced that George had a treatment that he submitted to Disney before they went into production with The Force Awakens, was that the treatment that he submitted had a bunch of like stuff about midichlorians and basically everything that people hate about the prequels. It was like the whole script and treatment was riddled with it. That was kind of how that was the overarching theme of. They didn't get into any of the details of the treatments. They just basically said, "Oh, it was a bunch of stuff that people wouldn't like." Is kind of how they said it. This is the first time we're getting like details as to what was in it. And so this was of course, this is 2012, so this is before Star Wars Rebels. This is as soon as the sale happens. So Darth Maul was supposed to return with his apprentice.
That man still alive.
Yeah, he comes back in Clone Wars.
He comes back all the time.
Okay, but here's the thing. Darth Maul, I'm gonna explain. Darth Maul is Sisyphus.
A what?
Sisyphus in the
synthesis?
the Greek story of Sisyphus. That's Maul. Basically, Sisyphus. The Cliff Notes version is he's cursed to roll a boulder up a hill only to have it fall back down again. So like the analogy is like you do all this hard work only to have everything collapse underneath you. Like that's his curse. Like every single time he rises, something happens and he falls all the way back down to the bottom.
What his parents do for him to deserve that?
There are what his parents do.
That sounds like some generational curse type.
I mean, his mother is well, God, his mother is a witch.
Okay, well, yeah, there you go.
So, I don't know who his father was. It's probably just some. He's from Dathomir, so like he's his mother is very powerful though, very powerful. But Darth Talon is a character from Legends who is like she's this very sexually manipulative Sith Lord from the Cade Skywalker saga, which is not a lot of people are familiar with Cade Skywalker. He's like, I think that's Luke's grandson in the EU. Like this is the part of the EU I don't really like because the Skywalkers kept having children, and then one of the children would turn to the dark side and then screw up the entire galaxy again, only to have the other sibling save it. And then they just kept perpetuating that over and over again post Return of the Jedi, which is why I kind of lost interest in a lot of the stories in the EU post ROTJ. The best stories for me were the Heir to the Empire, where they introduced Thrawn, and the Vong War, the Yuzong Vong War, which that was a great conflict. They introduced the Mandalorians. This is where Boba Fett became a legend during the Vong Wars, and the Vong were an interesting enemy because they were immune to the Force. Like the Force had no effect on them. So Luke's Jedi Order was basically ineffective against the Vong. Like they couldn't use any of their Force powers to defeat them. And the Vong had like this. They were this. What is it when you mix? They're like. Is it biotech?
Where you mix.
Yeah, you mix technology with organic beings. Like they don't have like starships. They just have these massive like space vacuum breathing beast that they use that are basically the size of like Star Destroyers. That they invade the galaxy with. Like they're different. Like they were a different type of enemy. They weren't the First Order, and it was very different. Strong departure from what we've seen in Star Wars, and they were quite the adversary. They almost defeated the New Republic. But then after that, the story kind of, like I said, it becomes, Skywalkers have babies. One baby goes dark side, screws up the galaxy, sibling saves them, and they're redeemed and die. So it's Anakin Skywalker repeatedly for the next like 40 years in the EU. But Darth Talon was one of the Sith Lords. She was the apprentice of Darth Krayt, like the Krayt Dragon. Darth Krayt was a Jedi during the time of the Old Republic. No, not the Old Republic, but the during the prequels. He survived Order 66. He fell to the dark side and became Darth Krayt, and he was actually a Tusken Raider. That was his origin. Like so that's why he took up the name Darth Krayt. Like that was the connection.
Yeah, I remember reading about that, dude.
Take me back to this Lucas treatments because I'm lost on how we got here.
Yeah, so sorry. So that was the backstory for Darth Talon. I did go off on a tangent. My fault.
That was Lord God.
That was Lord God. When I went doo doo doo. All right, so Darth Talon was Darth Krayt's apprentice, and she was going to be Maul's apprentice in this George Lucas treatment. The next key point was Luke is reunited with about 50 to 100 Jedi survivors of Order 66. And he and those survivors rebuild the Jedi Order from scratch, which That would have been amazing to see because we would have
too.
seen Luke's Jedi Order. They would have been fully established in this
That's a
treatment.
full circle.
How would Luke have an order with like surviving masters? Luke don't got the rank of master, so like if a 50 Jedi masters came back,
Because Luke holding the belt, he got the title. He beat the champ. Vader and
Well, he's a knight, and um yeah, but
representation.
the Yoda's Force Ghost comes back and makes Luke a master, like in that time period, because Yoda and Obi-Wan are still guiding Luke during this time period. If I'm basing this off of the EU, like they are still training him as Force Ghost, and then he eventually reaches the rank of master. Then he is elevated to Grand Master and begins training a new generation of Jedi, and that happens in the EU. And this is like in the same time period that the Mandalorian is taking place. It's about 6 to 9 years after Return of the Jedi when he makes the rank of Grand Master.
That would have been a dope story.
And last but not least, Leia becomes the Supreme Chancellor of the New Republic, which what that for me was like, that was the best part of that entire treatment. Like, because I don't like how Leia was treated in that sequel trilogy. Like the fact that she's basically an outcast of the Republic, even though she's one of its founding members. Like they see her as a warmonger and like someone who they have to distance themselves from her. And I'm like, that's Leia freaking Organa. Like, I don't understand that. I don't like that. I never liked that in aspect. And her becoming Supreme Chancellor makes a whole lot of sense. And she is, in his treatment, she is the chosen one.
That would have been dope to see.
Yeah. Which ties in to what Yoda says at the end of not Return of the Jedi, but Empire Strikes Back, when Luke goes back to save Han and Leia. Obi-Wan says, that boy is our last hope. And Yoda's like, no, there's another. Because Yoda knows the whole time that Leia is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda never actually wanted to train Luke Skywalker and make Luke, like, he wanted to train Leia. He thought that Leia was the one who was the better leader, and she would have made a better Jedi than Luke Skywalker, because Luke is a lot like Anakin. But Leia is more level-headed, and she's got leadership qualities. She's been in politics and seen as a leader on Alderaan, like at the age of like 14 or 15. Like she was it. And so the way they treat Leia's character in the sequel trilogies always bothers me. I can't forgive them for how they treated her in that trilogy.
So, random political philosophical question about the post the fall of the Empire. Why would thousands of planets in a galaxy willingly just rejoin the Republic? Because it's not like on Earth where we share physical borders. Planets could really be like, hey, yo, I tried it. A couple thousand years was good. We had a good run. We just gonna cook in isolation.
Yeah, that
might have something to do with how their economy is set up. Because if they're all connected, like globalization sense, but a practical sense, it might.
And that's,
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean also too. So after the fall of the Empire, like the Republic, the New Republic is not the same size as the former Republic. Like it is, it's significantly smaller. Like it's not the same number of systems.
That makes sense, because if I got the geography to cook on my own, I'm gonna be like, hey, that was cool.
No, like they see, like Mon Mothma and Leia both understood that a lot of the inefficient, like the efficacy issues that the Republic had prior to the Clone Wars was due to the size. Like it outgrew its ability to govern. It got too big. And so they allowed systems that. So, all right. So basically there are systems that supported the rebellion. And there are people who were in the Senate that supported the who was it? I forgot what they were called. Um, but anyway, there were in the Imperial Senate there was a faction of senators who opposed the empire and they secretly supported the rebel alliance financially, like through back channels. They would support them, and those became the leaders of the ones that survived that weren't exposed and killed. They eventually become the leaders of the rebellion and the rebel alliance, and they're the ones who fund their fleets, and they're the ones who um, form the new republic. But this new republic is very small. It's pretty much a few core worlds and some worlds in the mid rim. There are a lot more independent systems.
Do you like their mission statement?
What, the new republic?
Yeah, is it not to be
Their
like
mission,
empire?
they're the alliance to reestablish the republic. So they're trying to bring democracy back into the galaxy because the empire had wiped out democracy. Like they'd gone from a democratic state to an imperial rule, and so they're trying to bring back democracy into the galaxy, and anyone who wanted to be a part of democratic rule had the option to join the republic. And so it wasn't like a mandatory thing. Like not even every system that supported the rebellion ended up joining the new republic. Like some of them stayed independent. Like the Clone Wars kind of sets up the political landscape because the Separatists are independent systems, which is why they made a mistake ignoring the prequels in the sequel trilogy, because the Confederacy of Independent Systems separated from the Republic for a reason. Like, yes, Palpatine manipulated the whole thing behind the scenes, but they had good reason to want to leave the Republic. They were those systems that weren't getting the support they needed. They were basically, they weren't the richest planets in the galaxy, so therefore they were not prioritized. So that's why it was easy for Palpatine to go and create this Confederation of Independent Systems and put this figurehead in for them to leave the Republic and to start a war with the Republic. And that's kind of how they set the political landscape. Post Empire, some of those systems joined the rebellion to defeat the Empire. After the fall of the Republic, not all of those systems agreed to go back to the Republic because they were like, no, we've seen how this happens. We've seen how this works. We're not interested in going back to your democracy. What we had was good. We had a democratic system that worked for us, and we're going to go back and do that again. So you also had, I mean, it was just, the galaxy was more fragmented. Like the New Republic was the largest political faction in the galaxy, but it wasn't as large as the Old Republic. Mandalore was independent, and Mandalore had its own systems, like Concord Dawn, and like everything that was in Mandalorian space was independent and was ruled by Mandalore. And in this time period, Boba Fett actually becomes Mandalore, and he is the leader of the Mandalorian people during this time period. But yeah, it would have been a lot more interesting for them to go that route. Like, I wrote once this kind of like fan fiction of how the galaxy would have been mapped post Return of the Jedi. The Confederation, I would have had Mon Mothma and Leia Organa, acknowledge the Confederation of Independent Systems as a legit government, because that's really all they wanted in the Clone Wars. And they would have been a legit governing body. Those systems would have had their independence. They would have been able to govern and do whatever they wanted to. And they would form an alliance between the New Republic and themselves. You would have an imperial.
That's all they wanted in the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
wow,
they just
Republic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Palpatine, he manipulated both sides into believing that the other wanted to destroy the other. Yeah, and you see how he does this. Like, I mean, the Clone Wars animated TV show, you see how he does this. Like, there's a lot because he's got Dooku. Like, Count Dooku is the leader of the Separatists.
Yeah.
So he's feeding the people misinformation about what the Republic is doing, and the Chancellor is feeding the Senate false information about how the Separatists are operating. Like, and that's how they keep that system working. That's how they keep both of them opposed. And then as people start to figure out what's going on, like, they're assassinated by someone on the other side. So like, there was a scene where Padme sneaks across into Separatist space to meet with one of her former colleagues who was a member of the Republic, to try to negotiate a peace treaty. They were all on the Separatist side. They were all under the impression that Count Dooku had gone to the Republic to negotiate a peace treaty, and the Republic had openly rejected it. That's what they were told. That's what they were meant to believe. As soon as Padme starts to try to clear this up, her friend makes a motion on the Senate floor of the Separatist states, and they're set up kind of like British Parliament. Like, it's basically the same type of government structure as Parliament over in Britain. They make a motion to negotiate a peace treaty with the Republic. Count Dooku finds out who that was that put the motion on the floor. He tells Palpatine what's happening. They coordinate an attack on the Senate building, which knocks out like power while they're voting to with the Republic Senate, while the Republic Senate is voting on whether or not they will agree to these peace terms. And then the information is leaked that it was a separatist attack on the Republic coordinated by Count Dooku. And at the same time, Palpatine has launched an attack that kills the senator on the separatist side that had put the motion on the floor. So Count Dooku relays to the separatists that the Republic launched an attack that killed Senator Bonteri, and then Palpatine tells the Senate that the separatists have launched an attack on Coruscant. It's wild how they manipulate like that whole war. But it's stuff like that happens constantly that keeps both of those sides in constant opposition.
In the Mandalorian now, you've got the New Republic, and then you've got planets or systems that are just doing their
independent.
Own.
Well,
okay. So, what was that? Episode 2 of season 2, you had the 2 X-wings flying out, and what was that? The Outer Rim.
Yeah. The Outer Rim is
the Mando.
Completely. Yeah, the Outer Rim is completely independent.
So why are they sending patrols out there? I felt some type of it's like in that moment, the Republic felt like the Empire.
Most nations and governments will patrol outside of their borders in neutral space. If it's neutral space, like you can patrol, especially if it's close to your borders.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
So it's like maritime laws on Earth.
Yeah, that's how space is. The space operates with maritime laws, basically. Like, because we patrol all 7 seas, even though it's not our space, but the United States patrols trading lanes. The Republic patrols hyperspace lanes. The Republic is also aware that there is an Imperial remnant still in the galaxy. That they're trying to hunt down.
They pulled up, it's like, run your plates. Let me see that ID. Who are you? Like, ooh, sound like the Empire.
I mean, you still got a criminal element in the galaxy.
I suppose.
Especially now that the Empire is gone, all of the criminal factions that operate in the Outer Rim, like they've kind of taken a strong foothold once again out there. So you got a lot of pirate factions. You got the Huts are once again rising to power, and you just got a lot of it's the Outer Rim is a wild place. I'll just put it that way. So it would make sense for them to have patrols on near hyperspace lanes coming from the Outer Rim.
If it's the outer rim, I feel like just let that stay the outer rim. Like we've got our republic here, we've got our confederation of independent planets. Like y'all do your thing out there on the outer rim. Just don't come this way.
Yeah, well, that's why they would have to patrol the hyperspace lanes, because if they're operating, if there's criminal elements operating inside of the mid and inner rims of the Republic that they know are coming from the outer rim, that of course it would make sense for them to try to
But no, that's what
intercept
they
any of
were
those.
patrolling in the outer rim when they pulled over the Mando.
Oh yeah, maritime laws.
Yeah.
Maritime laws. Now, what the difference is, the Republic, the Empire would have had Imperial Star Destroyers overhead monitoring who's shipping things in and out of each planet, because that's how they operated. Very authoritarian.
Yeah. The thing I was getting on though is, and you sound like they've talked about it, there is a decent amount of political things at play.
Yeah.
To only be watching a Jedi, especially at the scale of Star Wars. So, I'm glad they cover it to some extent, because I can't just be cool with like, oh, the Republic's back now.
Oh no. Like yeah, a lot of it is done in the Clone Wars. Like that's the Clone Wars animated TV show really changed a lot of people's opinions about the prequels, because it does a good job of filling in a lot of the gaps of how the state of the galaxy during that time period, and how things got to the point where the Separatists and the Republic were at war, and the political maneuvering of Palpatine. It really does illustrate how brilliant he was at manipulating the galaxy at large. I mean, but Insidious is that's what he is, Darth Sidious.
Darth Sidious. I'm gonna stay quiet though, because they must have picked up on what I was saying. They tried to silence me, cut my connection.
Oh man, I was wondering what happened.
Forces be forces.
Yeah, it also makes sense too. I was reading further into this whole the Luke and the Jedi stuff, because according to this, about 100,000, there were like 100,000 Jedi during the prequels, according to George Lucas, and that's significantly a lot more than what we now know in canon, because I think Kanan in Rebels officially made it, put the number out, because he makes reference that there were about 10,000 Jedi during the time of the Republic, and the Clone Wars, and so like 100,000 is like, that's significantly a lot more Jedi than what we now know is the case in canon. But for there to only be like 50 to 100, so there were a lot more than 50 to 100 survivors of Order 66 during this time period, but only like 50 to 100 agreed to work with Luke to reestablish the order. Now, where this does kind of like make sense, like I think some of this is coming into play in the Disney Plus shows and series. And a lot of what they've been doing in canon is kind of showed that there are a lot more Jedi that survived Order 66 than we initially thought, because for one, I never bought into the idea that um, Obi-Wan and Yoda were the only two that survived Order
I didn't either.
66. Um, the initial Order 66 attack, 99% of the order was wiped out. And if there were 10,000 at that time, then that means there were 1,000 that survived the initial onslaught. And then what we don't know is how many were killed during the Purge, which the Purge is that 19-year gap between episode 3 and 4. This is where we get the introduction of the Purge troopers and the Inquisitors that hunt down any surviving Jedi. We see that in what's the name of the game? Fallen Order. Cal Kestis. We get the Purge trooper introduction, the division of stormtroopers that were trained to hunt and kill Jedi. The Inquisitors are introduced in Rebels. We see Kanan Jarrus survived Order 66. We got Cal Kestis. We know Jocasta Nu survived, and there were a large number that survived. And that could still be out there during this time period. Like, honestly, if we're looking at the Mandalorian and this time period after Return of the Jedi, we still got a large number of Jedi survivors out there. Like, it's very possible that 50 to 100 survivors in the current canon timeline can still be around during this time period. Like, Ahsoka is alive. We don't know the fate of Cal Kestis. Ezra Bridger is alive. But this is like, there's some concepts from this script that seem to that there's still potential for a lot of these concepts to be developed on Disney Plus in that 40-year gap between the sequels and Return of the Jedi.
And 10,000 planets, there's gonna be concepts to play with for a long time.
Yeah.
As long as
Yeah,
they're
they
willing
can
to
just-
like look at that scope.
Yeah, it's a galaxy. And on the stream yesterday for Starlight, I mentioned that, like, I think that it makes sense for there to be like this Skywalker sphere of influence within the galaxy where all of the events of the movies they happen in a certain part of the galaxy, and that certain part of the galaxy is part of that Skywalker sphere of influence. And so they are all affected by the things that transpire in those movies. However, because it's a galaxy, there's no way every part of the galaxy is affected by these actions. So there can be sectors and pockets of the galaxy that are just completely unaffected by it. And I would like to see more stories told in those pockets that are outside of that sphere of influence that can sort of fill in a lot of the just flesh out the galaxy, like make it more expansive. Like, I would like the Mandalorian and all of the spinoff shows to depart and move away from the Skywalker saga. Like, don't interact with any of the main characters and all of that. Like, the side characters, Boba Fett, things of that nature, that's fine. But like the main characters and all in the New Republic and all of that, like, move in a new direction that kind of deviates from that. And let's build out that universe, this galaxy in that 40-year time period outside of the Skywalker sphere of influence. We can create new characters. Like, we can have legacy characters show up like Ahsoka Tano and Captain Rex, and Cal Kestis in live action would be fire to see. Ezra Bridger. We see Bo-Katan pop up. That was awesome. That was amazing to see her pop up. Like,
it'd be interesting to see them do something with the surviving Jedi of Order 66, like make it a story of them trying to remain in contact with each other.
Yeah, like that's an amazing concept, because we do know. I mean, if it's canon that 99% of them survived Order 66 and were hunted during the Purge. what happens to these Jedi. Like that means there's a lot of characters to create and stories to follow. Like what happens to them. Like there's a sector of the galaxy that's called wild space. It's most of it is uncharted. And then there are the unknown regions that's where the Chiss Ascendancy is. It's this obscure location in the galaxy where what they call the chaos happened. There was a chain reaction of supernova explosions that cut off the unknown regions from the rest of the galaxy. All the hyperspace lanes were disrupted, and it made travel from that region of the galaxy to the known galaxy almost impossible.
That'd be dope to see.
Yeah, like they've been building that universe with Thrawn trilogy, the new Thrawn trilogy that JBM you just started reading, and then the new Ascendancy book takes place inside of the Chiss Ascendancy before Thrawn joins the Empire. We see his life as a captain with the Chiss, with his people.
This is what one of them looked like.
Yeah, that's the first book in the series. That's a great trilogy. Like that dude, Thrawn is one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, just of all time. Like he's
the Spock of Star Wars.
Yeah, you mix Spock and Sherlock Holmes, and that's Thrawn.
Yeah, I'm having a.
I mean, and shoot, even in the book, in the Ascendancy book, there's an excerpt where they're walking through a museum, and there's a relic from the old Republic when the Chiss Ascendancy had an alliance with the Sith Empire of old. So it's like, you don't have to follow the Skywalker saga. Like this is a huge galaxy. Like you can maybe the Jedi leave the known galaxy, travel into wild space because that's the safest place for them to go. It's outside of the Empire can't track them there. Maybe they make their way into the chaos. The Chiss have limited force sensitivity. Like all of them are born force sensitive at birth, but the female Chiss retain their force sensitivity up until like their teenage years, and then it fades. And the Chiss don't have traditional hyperdrives like we see in Star Wars. They use their the female Chiss as navigators, and they use the force to navigate through the chaos. And so they use the force to basically travel through hyperspace, and it's different from how the rest of the galaxy uses hyperspace, like, which is a very interesting concept. And they're called Skywalkers.
Interesting.
That's what they're called. Yeah, I want a series on the Chiss because I like the Chiss. I like them in that whole sector of the galaxy. They've been building this whole concept with the Grisk, which seemed to be like a Yuzong Vong type of threat to the galaxy.
Yuzong Vong?
Yep, the Yuzong Vong. That's the biomechanical threat I was talking about earlier. Like they seem to be a lot like that. Like they are this
like
they operate
in Star Trek.
Not really. Well, yeah. Because they conquer by getting civilizations to submit willingly to their rule. And they do this through infiltration, and they get inside of their societies, and they play the long game and just manipulate things behind the scenes until it appears that the only way for that civilization to thrive and survive is to join the Grisk. And that's an enemy that they introduced with the Thrawn series. So I don't know. I've always appreciated.
The Grisk. That's who they call the
Yeah, that's
Grisk.
what they call the Grisk. I've always liked the old Republic stuff. I've always liked that because that time period was you had
That's
a
what I would like to see in the new sequels. Like take it back to the old Republic and let's get a trilogy out of that.
Wouldn't that
I
be prequels?
I was about to say
Prequels,
I would
yes.
rather a
You know,
series.
yeah, you call them prequels. A series would be cool, a live action series.
I would rather see a live
Yeah.
action series on the use the volume to get that quality of that production quality that we see.
Yeah.
And there's only been one set thus far in this season, and that was on Tatooine in the city, Freetown. That was the only built out set. Everything else has been done on the volume. Just like that stuff is amazing. That technology is just amazing because it
That's
looks
the tech with the large screens and the cameras everywhere.
yeah. That's incredible. Like it brings the production value of TV to like that of theatrical films, and it's
Yes.
cheaper. It's cheaper, man. That really changes the game for serialized television, and especially for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Dismantling democracy sounds like today's politics, huh? It is interesting. There are some parallels. There are some parallels.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hold my tongue there. I don't want to get disconnected again. Start
Man.
flagging Gumbo streams because JB.
Yeah, weird things start happening, huh?
Yeah. What's it? The agenda?
The agenda.
The agenda. Watch your mouth.
Got to be more careful.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's great Star Wars news, man. A lot of great content could come from it.
It is. Yeah. Anything else we want to talk about? Do community? Anything? Lou, you got anything you want to talk about? Discuss? What's been going on in your life? Might have a short episode this week.
Yep. Because I've been mostly focused on this cross country hop.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. And I've been focused on getting these labs done. I've got a certification coming up. So I'll be pulling the late night tonight.
Yeah. Been occupied pretty heavily with work as well. And the election kind of kept me out of the news circuits of
same. I was not
entertainment. So
you know, cut all that off.
Yeah, all that had to get severed.
For that.
But I did, of course, always tuning into The Mandalorian. Season 2 has been absolutely phenomenal.
I was waiting until I got home to start so I could watch it with my dad. So we're gonna hit that at some point.
Oh yeah, let us know in Discord what you think. Also on Netflix, if anyone watches Blood on Rome, Sabora, Blood on Rome, season 3 just came out, and I'm excited to see what season 3 is like.
What's it called?
Sabora, Blood on Rome. Yeah. So there's two Saboras. Make sure you see the one that's Blood on Rome. That's
all right.
That's the one. Yeah, it's 3 seasons out, but it's pretty good.
What is it about, roughly? What's the?
It is about street and political life in Rome, and people fighting for power.
Okay.
You've got some underdogs that come up and get together, kind of take on the big dogs. That's a cliff note.
Okay, I can dig that. That is kind of interesting, and it's it being on Netflix. They do a pretty good job with their. Is this an original?
It's an
Netflix
original, and it's in it's subtitles. So you have to read.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So
That
they're
remind
speaking
me-
Latin.
I don't know what they're speaking. I call it Rome. They're speaking
Yeah.
Rome.
So,
I mean, Rome is in Italy. They could be speaking Italian.
yeah, I was about to say
They're
they're
speaking
either
Italian.
speaking
They're speaking
Italian
Italian.
or Latin. Like,
It's Italian. It's Italian.
okay,
I like to
okay.
call it Rome though.
Yeah, that could be. I'll probably check that out at some point in time. I'm getting caught up on the Blacklist. I don't know why I stopped watching that series.
That's a lot of episodes.
It is.
Mm.
I'm on. I think I just got to season 4 of the
Mm-hmm.
Blacklist. So
I think I'm still on season 2, maybe. He just like, what was that season that ended with him with the Russian, like the main Russian dude, like the main villain of the first season?
that's a great. I think that's season 2.
Okay, yeah, end of season 2. So I might be at the beginning of season 3.
Yeah.
Mid
So that was a weird trend. I think that kind of took me out of it for a little bit. The heel turn with the villain, is that what you're talking about?
I think so.
I'm not trying to spoil anything, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think she survived that crash or whatnot. And
he said speaking wrong. Oh God, that was great.
Oh, yeah, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom peeked that too. Oh, that was great. Yeah. Anything you've been watching, Lou?
Nothing I've been watching, but I'm about to watch. Onyx Equinox drops on Crunchyroll next week. Animated show, of course, because it's Crunchyroll, but epic Mesoamerican Aztec fantasy.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
that's interesting.
Sounds interesting. Interessante.
Yeah, we
Has
don't get a
have
lot
any
of-
of y'all started watching Titans or seen Titans on DC? Not DC, but HBO Max.
So yeah, I'm not, and I'm not going to watch it. Yeah,
It's one of those. I'll turn it on if I'm bored.
Yeah,
And
I'll
not
say
on my
this.
list.
I'll
I
say
would
this about it.
definitely-
It's a series that if it were a weekly release, it'd be in trouble because I couldn't. There's no way I would stick to watch it. Like it's I have to binge it because it's a lot like the CW shows. It's just it's darker, but thematically and like the pacing and the writing all 100% copy of that CW format for their shows. So it's got there's a lot of cringe.
I feel like Jeff Johns executive producing both, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't understand why they like that style of writing. It's horrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
I mean,
I don't know.
I like the Flash though. The Flash.
I like The Flash through 3 seasons.
Yes, 3.
Then it got
first
super
3.
repetitive.
Yeah. I like the first 3 seasons of The Flash as well. Of the shows, The Flash is my favorite. And because it's The Flash, it
fits.
works better with The Flash
Right,
to me.
yeah.
It's a better fit. Everything else is just like, ugh. Even, I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons of Batwoman? And that was still kind of like, that it's the same it's the same tone, same writing style of the Flash, and it's just like this is not working for me. Like it's just not. Like I'm used to Nolan's Batman, and that's in my head, and that version of Batman works for me. And so when you give me like all of a sudden we go back to like Adam West type of of writing, I'm like, nah,
Too
man.
much mayonnaise. Get that mayonnaise off my
I'm
burger.
like, my brain can't handle this. Like we've progressed past this type of writing. Like, we don't do this anymore. We've grown up now.
Yo, are you trying to make the mayonnaise burger thing like your catchphrase?
It might be a soundbite coming.
Hey, yo,
soon.
you know what? Every time he says that, it's like that. It's that the scene from Undercover Brother pops up in my head. when they have that glob of mayonnaise. Oh God, that's
Uh,
probably one of the most cringe comical moments in film history. It makes me cringe. I hate that scene, but it's hilarious at the same time.
That movie had a lot of different kinds of comedy.
That movie is underrated. Yeah, I think I need to actually, you know what? Before I say that, I need to rewatch it. But I feel like that movie's underrated.
it is. It is underrated.
I haven't seen it in a while.
Movie is hilarious. Like, yeah, Eddie Griffin and Dave Chappelle. It's like, come on.
Oh God, I forgot Dave Chappelle's in that. I definitely need to go rewatch that.
Yeah, it might be a decade since I seen that movie.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen it. I probably haven't seen it since it came out.
Oh, then that's you pushing 2 decades.
Has it been that long?
Good movies,
It
man.
couldn't have been that. It couldn't have been.
It
Well,
was the
yeah, you might be right.
00s.
It's probably like yeah. It's been about.
The movie with Eddie Griffin and Orlando Jones. I think it was called Silver Train. It was the remake of the classic.
No,
with,
I know what you're talking about.
Bullet
um,
Nine, not Bullet Train.
That movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's the Orlando Jones is FBI agent.
45. Double take. Double take. Yeah, the original
that
was
movie.
called Silver
I haven't
Bullet.
seen that.
You haven't seen Double Take?
Nope.
Oh God, do
man.
yourself a favor. That movie is hilarious.
Yeah, check that out, man. Yeah.
Swiss malt liquor.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh God, that movie is great. That's a classic, yo.
I wish that was on Netflix.
That I do too, yo. I do too, man. We need to yeah, that needs to be on Netflix, man, because I'll rewatch that joint. It was on Netflix for a minute though.
Was it?
Yeah, it was on. I think I rewatched it when I was in college, like a few years. So that was what, 5 years ago. I don't think it's up there now, but it was definitely on Netflix for a time.
It's just up for like rent on like one of those streaming platforms.
Hey, you could probably rent it for like $2 on Amazon. Dang, there was one more thing I want to talk about before we close. Popped in my head if I can think about it. Drawing a blank. I don't think so. Maybe not. Oh yeah. Speaking of Dave Chappelle, did y'all see his Saturday Night Live episode last weekend?
I
his
see the whole
monologue?
episode. I
Yeah,
watched
the monologue. The clips.
I watched him try to be the Allstate guy.
Oh,
yeah.
I watched his first character like 5 times. That was hilarious.
yeah.
He broke character like 2 seconds in. Oh man.
That was great. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's all Saturday Night Live puts up. They've got a YouTube channel, so you can go watch the monologue and all of the
They
clips.
said his monologue was longer than twice the longest monologue Saturday Night Live has ever done.
Yeah, I think it's like 16 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good monologue. I enjoyed it. I want to see more, monologues from comedians on SNL. Just do some stand up.
He was uncomfortable. He said he was uncomfortable. That was that was the first time I actually seen him uncomfortable. Not like he wasn't like shaking nervous, but he was like he definitely didn't have the same level of confidence that he normally has.
Did it seem like his pronunciations were off? Like he was.
That was the nerves. Like he was legit nervous. I don't think. Well, I mean, one, it's live, so there's no like outtakes. Like I think there were some things that he knew were gonna be that could cause a stir. I'll say.
Yeah.
It was still good. It was still a good monologue. Always good to see Dave.
Yeah, it was a really good monologue. Stand up is like one of my favorite forms of entertainment. Like I love stand up.
Yeah, that's a rough field. Like anybody who goes into stand up, like, because I think if you've ever watched comedians in cars getting coffee or
Oh
Like a lot
yeah,
of the
with Seinfeld.
interviews, yeah, a lot of those interviews, that's surprisingly good as a show because him in the car with a comedian, like just you know having a
Shooting the
conversation about
breeze.
life as a comedian is just surprisingly good. Like it's better than I anticipated. I don't know what my expectations were for the show, but I thoroughly enjoyed every single one of the episodes. I I started watching it. I think the first one I saw was him with Obama, and then I watched. I think he's got um, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, like a lot of the comedians that I'm familiar with. I've watched those, and then I've gone back and watched all of the other ones, and like them talking about coming up as a stand-up comedian and like how literally every night, every time you go up on stage, you're being critiqued by like until you become famous, like everybody is expecting you to bomb, and so like you they're constantly insulted um every night. Like there's a gauntlet that they have to go through to become like famous, and they all kind of sort of talk about like what it was like to come up as a comedian, and then once they achieve fame, like every time they go on stage, like now they get cheers, but they're like before that, like you be in a city one night and you get all laughs, and the next minute you're like getting booed off the stage.
Mm. Yeah, the local comedy clubs are great to go to
Yeah,
if you ever attend those.
yeah. I've gone to a local comedy club. I went to the what's the one in Greensboro? The Laugh,
The
uh,
Laugh Factory.
is it the Laugh Factory?
Believe so.
I don't know.
And
I've been to one. I've been there one night. It was interesting.
Isn't that one like mostly improv?
I think so. It seemed to be.
Wait, um,
Or no, is it the comic? Is it Comedy Zone?
yeah, that's the one.
It's
Comedy Zone.
Comedy Zone.
there is no. So the improv one's a different one because I'm thinking about the Idiot Box.
Idiot
No,
Box. Yeah, that's another one. I think
Off of
that's
Elm
there's,
Street
yeah,
down.
there's several.
I've been to
There's
that
actually
one.
yeah,
one I realized here in
Box.
Greensboro.
The Idiot Box.
I didn't realize there was several comedy clubs in Greensboro till we started talking about it just now.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen a couple good stand-ups come out of the Idiot Box. I used to go to those open mic nights where comedians would come on, do their little two,
You were
three,
spitting
5 minutes.
jokes.
No, I was in
you
the audience, man, just an appreciation for comedy.
for the art.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, telling the joke is an art for sure, for sure. I watched the interview with Dave Chappelle, with Kevin Hart talking about Dave Chappelle. I don't know if this might have been Breakfast. No, it wasn't Breakfast Club. I can't remember who it was. Either way, no, I think it was Joe Rogan. Um, they were talking about Dave Chappelle, and like he said that he was in New York one time, and he was getting ready to go up on stage to work on some new material, and um, when he got to New York, he called Chris Rock and let him know that he was going to go to I think the Cellar, one of those popular spots in New York City, to work on some material. And Chris was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, cool," because he's like, "I'm probably come up there too because I got some new stuff that I've been working on." Like this is right before Rock did his stand up special for Netflix, so this was years ago, and he said so Kevin Hart goes up first. He does his material. Laughs, applause, gets off stage, and then Rock goes up and he does his set. Uh, Hart is in the stand. He's in the in the back taking notes, watching the performance. And then they sit down together and they kind of talk about each of their performances, what they liked, what they didn't like, and then they start working on their sets while the other acts are going up, and they're getting ready to leave, and then the host comes out and says, "All right, don't leave yet. We got a very special guest. Dave Chappelle is here, and he's about to do a set. Mind you, both Chris Rock and Kevin Hart did like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. They said Dave Chappelle went up for like 2 hours and just talked. Like he just like typical Dave Chappelle format. And he said that they both like 30 minutes into the set, they both looked at each other and they balled up the material they were working on and threw it away because his set was just that good. I'm like, damn, that's a legend. Like hearing the other comedians talk about Dave Chappelle and his legend and the way he's able to perform comedy is like they are in awe of him, and everyone acknowledges his greatness. And it's it's always cool to see that when your peers acknowledge that how good you are. It's like I think that's really all the validation that anybody ever needs. Like anyone who actually has done what you do, telling you that you're like amazing, that's more credible than someone else who's not a part of the craft. Like I think your peers' opinions are more valuable than anyone who's outside of the craft who's never done what you're attempting to do. That their critiques are far more valid and valuable.
Right.
Yep, can dig it. Can dig that. Yeah,
But
man.
I think without further ado, we can wrap this one up here.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody got any closing remarks? Last.
Eat well. Eat well.
Fourth to be great.
Go for it.
Rounding out 2020. Stay safe.
Where
got an uptick. Wear your mask.
Yes, stay safe. COVID cases are spiking like crazy. So please wear a mask, be safe, follow social distancing rules, try to stay inside, indoors as much as you can. And just be mindful of others. If you haven't already, please follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Certified Gumbo. I'm going to drop a link to the Discord page in the chat. Once again, if you haven't joined us on Discord, make sure you do that. We have conversations daily, all times a day, about the very things we talk about. And we'd love to have you join us, be part of the conversation.
Yeah, man. Also in Discord, we'll be posting a Google form to sign up for a Call of Duty private Warzone tournament. We're looking to host these on a regular basis. So check for that. And there's going to be money involved.
We got a pot. Nice. Oh yeah, facts. Make sure if you live in the state of Georgia, please vote in the runoffs. Please vote.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a democratic state. If you are of age and you are eligible to vote, we definitely recommend and encourage you all to vote. Yes. Practice your right as a democratic citizen of a democracy to vote when and however often you can.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you pay taxes. Vote.
Yeah, man, you pay taxes, you got to vote, man, because
paying taxes and not voting is like putting bacon on a rice cake. Don't make sense.
Oh my god! Okay.
Wait, say that one more again.
Bacon on a rice cake.
You tried it and failed? Like,
no, it's just you don't put
I think
on a rice cake.
He found the most random combination of things just to make the point of something not making sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you understood that reference, good for you.
There's a lot of things out there that don't make sense.
We appreciate. Either way, what he's trying to say is go vote. Just to decipher. If you didn't catch that reference, it's understandable if you didn't. I'm Once again, putting a link in the chat to our coffee page. If you would like to further support this channel, please make sure you visit that page. $3 for a cup of coffee, financial donation to the channel, everything, every monetary donation we receive goes back into this channel and supports the content that we create here. So if you feel so inclined to do so, please do send us buy us a cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee. So they legit. We'll do that off.
Anyway, so that's the episode. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And without further ado, like I always say, peace